Okay, we're still working in Word. And we just got finished with the budget assignment. And next is tables in Word. So make sure that you go through the tables in Word section before you begin doing the average temperatures and the water rides. It will really help you and save you time in the long run if you take the time to check out the tables in Word section here. So right now we're going to go up to the Word assignments, and we're going to scroll down here and find that average temperature assignment. And here's our instructions. And I'm going to go ahead and open up a Word document here. And I'm going to make it half of my screen. And then I'm going to come over here and get the instructions for the other half. So in this one, we are going to insert and format a table. The first thing we need to do is create a header and footer in our document. So we're going to insert a header, blank 3 column. You should know the drill by now. Over here on the left goes your name. In the center, we're going to type average temperature. And at the right, type in the date that you are creating your document. Now we're ready to enter a table. So we're going to come to Insert, and here's our little table icon. And I'm just going to use my little grid here, and I only need 4 columns. So we want to leave this first cell blank. I'm going to click here in the second column, and then I'm going to start entering my information. To move from cell to cell, I'm going to hit my Tab key. And to get to the next row in my table, I'm just going to hit my Tab key again, and it's automatically going to take me down to the next row. So make sure you're spelling information correctly and that you're putting in the right numbers. On the third row, you want to skip that first cell. And I'm just going to finish entering this information in here. And now Taos in January. And when we get to the end of that, to add a new row to our table, all you have to do is hit the Tab key, and it's going to automatically put in another row. So you don't have to go insert anything anywhere, it's just automatic. Now that I have my information entered here in my table, I'm ready to start formatting it. I'm going to merge some cells, and that means taking 2 or more cells and just making them into one. And I'm going to take this Santa Fe, I'm going to click in that cell, and then I'm going to hold my left mouse down button. I'm going to drag down until I have all 4 of those cells in that first column selected. I'm going to come up here to my Table Tools section on my Layout tab, and I'm going to merge cells. I want to center the text, so I'm going to align center here. I also want it to there we are. I lost my place in my assignment here. Let's see. I want it. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's merge this Taos and merge the cells. And so now number 5, we want to change the entire table to 16-point Arial. So to do that, we're going to select the whole table. So we have to come up here to our little table marker here and click on that, and that selects our whole cell, our whole table. And then we're going to change this to Arial, and we want it to be 16 point. And now here on Santa Fe, we want to change the direction of our text. So right here we have text direction, and we're just going to click it until it's up and down like that. And we want this text to be 26 bold. So we've got Arial 26 bold. And we're going to do Taos the same way. Not sure why that's not fitting. To be 26 bold. And then we're going to change the direction. See, we got, okay, let's come here. Oh, I know why. Because on number 5, we need to also change the row height. So I'm going to select the whole table, and up here's our row height, and it's supposed to be 0.45. Oh, there we go. So, and this one, we're going to move it over there. Okay, so now we've got our table like this. And so now we're ready for number 7. We're going to adjust the column widths. So column 1, we want to be 0.75. So I'm just going to put my insertion point someplace inside column 1. And here's my column width. I'm going to change that to 0.75. And now I'm going to do the same thing for the next column, except it needs to be 1.25. And now I want to make the next column 1 inch and the third column 1 inch. I want to center all of the text in columns 3 and 4, so I'm going to come up here in column 3, and I'm just going to put my left mouse key and hold it down and just drag down to the bottom cells here. And I'm going to come up here and I'm going to make sure it's centered. And then this information in this first cell is actually supposed to be left aligned. So I don't know how that all got changed, but if it was not in the center, then, or it's in the center, right here is left aligned. That's the first column. The second row should be left aligned, and the third and fourth should be centered. We want to insert a new row at the top of the table. So I'm going to put my insertion point up here in the top row, and then up here on my Table Tools layout, I've got an insert above. I want to merge these cells, so I've got them all selected. I'm going to click on Merge. And I want to type the title Average Temperature. And I'm going to make that Arial and 24 point. And I also want to make it small caps. So I'm going to come up here to my Home tab, click on the dialog box launcher for fonts, and make it small caps. And say OK. Now here on the second row, I want to change the font color to white. So I'm going to select the whole row, even this first cell, even though that's empty. And I'm going to come up here and I'm going to change my font to white. Of course, now we can't see it, so we need to apply black shading to the row. So we're going to come up here to the Design tab, and here's our shading, and we're going to change it to black. We want to apply a gray shading to the first row, so I'm going to come up here, come to Shading, and here is a gray. Right here. Okay, now we just need to add borders. So we're going to come up here, and here's our border icon. We're going to come down to bottom, Borders and Shading. And we want to select the box. We just want it on the outside. And we want this outside to be 3-point. And we want it to be a double line. And we want it to be, okay, there we go. Make sure that's 3-point, double line. It's all on the back outside edges, and then say OK. And then we also want a single line in the inside border. So another way we can do our borders, we're going to come up here to our border style. We just want a single line, 1.5 points. So we're going to click here. And then you can see we've got our little paintbrush. And we can come up here and then we can just put it and highlight which ones we want it to be 1.5. So I'm just going to do this all the way around, including across here. Make sure you're on the line. And there we have our table. So I'm going to come up here to this border painter and select that to turn that off. So we want to center this table vertically and horizontally on the page. So to center a table on your page, we're going to come up here and we're going to select the whole thing. And come up here to the Home tab and hit Center. And then we want to center it vertically, so we're going to come up here to the Layout. And we're going to come here to the Page Setup. And here's our layout. And we want to change this vertical alignment to center. And OK. And so now we're ready to check and make sure it's all on one page. So we're going to go to File and Print. You can see here's what your final project should look like. And make sure everything's spelled correctly. And then you're going to save it, and you're going to submit it in Blackboard in the appropriate drop box for grading.